Alright guys, so this is some of the matches I want to see happen in 2026, starting off with Ilya Topuria versus Arman Tsarukyan. I know that Paddy versus Justin Gaethje was just announced. I think it was announced like a couple weeks ago. But listen, I don't want to see Ilya Topuria fight the winner of that. It's such a waste of time. And although Paddy versus Ilya would be interesting because of the beef in their history, I just don't see how any of them are deserving for the title shot. And compared to Arman Tsarukyan, who just beat Dan Hooker and who is the guy who deserves the title shot. He's the #1 contender right now. You know, it's funny because I think the Paddy versus Justin Gaethje fight is a great fight. I just don't see how it should be for an interim title. That's so stupid. I want to see Ilya Topuria versus Arman Tsarukyan in 2026. I think that would be a great fight. But first, we're going to have to wait for Ilya to sort out all of his personal problems, which is God knows how long that's going to take. And then after that, he's going to have to defend his title against the winner, Paddy versus Justin. Then, and only then, can we see the fight against Arman. That's if he doesn't move up after the fight against like Paddy, the winner, Paddy versus Justin. For the second fight I want to see in 2026 is Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane 2. As we know, in the second fight, or I guess the first time they fought, Ciryl Gane eye poked the hell out of Tom Aspinall with both of his. He eye poked both of his eyes with like multiple fingers, I guess 2 fingers would be, and it was a deep eye poke which caused the fight to be a no contest. I honestly thought they should have deducted the point from Ciryl Gane, or they should have like punished him in some way for sticking his hands out and poking Tom Aspinall, because if you rewatch that fight, it was multiple times where he tries to eye poke him, he sticks his fingers out. And you know what the worst part about it? I hate how the fans are freaking critiquing my boy Tom for not fighting without being able to see, and not critiquing Ciryl Gane, who literally caused the finger poke. And the worst part about it, he tried to finger poke him multiple times in the fight. What a flip are we critiquing Tom Aspinall? Like, it was not his fault. What do you want him to fight? Not being able to see? So yeah, I want to see that fight. I want to see that fight get run back, and I want to see Tom Aspinall knock the flip. Actually, I mean, I don't hold anything against Ciryl Gane, but I want to see him beat Ciryl Gane, and I can't wait for that day to happen so that all the fans who were saying that Tom quit, Aljamain Sterling, he literally said that Tom quit. Aljamain Sterling, out of all people. You'll see if he's a quitter after that. My bad. I mean, listen, bro, I'm a fan of Tom Aspinall, all right? But yeah, so that's why I want to see the rematch. I think Ciryl Gane did really good in the first round. You know, obviously he was able to defend the takedown and just he did win the first round, or he was winning, and he landed like 3 more significant strikes. Everyone was going crazy. Everyone's saying that Tom got dominated. Come on, brother. But yeah, so I want to see that rematch. And this time, if Tom Aspinall gets eye poked, I want to see him being able. They have to deduct a point from Ciryl Gane. If they don't like punish him for doing an illegal move, then I think the UFC's failed as a company. Moving on, I want to see another fight. I want to see in 2026 is Petr Yan versus Merab Dvalishvili 3. As you know, they fought last weekend, and it was one of the greatest bantamweight fights of all time. You could argue it's probably one of the best. You could argue it is the best. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, there has been some good bangers. There has been some bangers in the past, and I know bangers. But now listen, hear me out. Merab versus Petr 3. We get another insanely good bantamweight fight. We'll do another bantamweight fight for the co-main event. We do Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen, title eliminator. Boom. So if Sean O'Malley beats Song Yadong, he fights Corey Sandhagen, title eliminator, as a co-main event for Merab versus Petr Yan 3. Perfect. What can I say? I'm just tapped in like that. But yeah, so that's another fight I want to see happen next year. I mean, it would be a freaking phenomenal fight. And if anyone deserves a rematch at the title and another chance to get a title, it's Merab. He's been the most active, and like I said, he's just a dog. So you got to give him that rematch. Another fight I want to see in 2026, and this one is kind of, you know, I guess you could say it's an interesting one, but I want to see Alex Pereira versus Carlos Ulberg for, I guess, the title, right? So everyone wants to see Alex Pereira go up, and, you know, that's cool. I mean, I guess that'd be interesting seeing Alex Pereira go up to heavyweight. That's cool now. The only thing is, I don't want Alex Pereira to fight John Jones. The reason why I don't want him to fight John Jones is because I don't want the UFC to reward John Jones for ducking Tom Aspinall. I think it's BS, and we shouldn't be rewarding someone who is freaking ducking, got offered $30 million and still refused to fight someone who, you know, is always causing some type of problem for the UFC. We shouldn't reward that behavior. And John Jones is kind of a douche. So instead, hear me out now. Carlos Ulberg versus freaking Alex Pereira. 2 heavy hitters, 2 kind of knockout artists. And although Carlos Ulberg knocked out my GOAT in Dominic Reyes, still breaks my heart to this day. I mean, he earned his title shot fair and square, and I think Alex Perez should try to get one more defense for the light heavyweight belt before moving up. After that, from there, I guess if he really wants to fight John Jones, he could. Although I do think he should fight Tom Aspinall. Listen, Carmen Glazier. Oh, I'm just saying. Until then, he should fight Olberg. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, moving on. Another fight I want to see happen in 2026 is, and this is a big one, and this is a fight that everyone wants to see, which I don't think it's going to happen, but if it would be the greatest fight, I think, in UFC history. Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. You could call it you could call it Khabib versus Conor too. Conor with wrestling, Khabib with striking. Whatever you want to call it, we need to see that fight. Bro, this fight has been building up for, I think, 2 years now. Ilia and Islam have been going at it for a long time now. Both of them are double champ. Both of them have fought each other for the #1 pound for pound list. Sometimes it's actually kind of crazy to think about. Both of them are double champions, right? And then both of them they're like I said, they're fighting each other for the pound for pound list. So Islam will be at pound for pound #1 after he wins a fight, and then after Ilia beats and defends his title, he goes back up to #1, and they just fight each other for #1 and second. It's kind of crazy. They're literally this fight is a match made in heaven. It will be the first time in UFC history where you have 2 double champions and 2 fighters who have been on the pound for pound #1 fighting for each other. And whoever wins that fight will arguably be one of the greatest, if not the greatest combat athlete UFC fighter ever. I know you're probably going to think like, oh, what about let's just say hypothetically speaking, Islam wins, right, against Ilia. I would argue that would make him the greatest fighter of all time. And the reason why, although Islam doesn't have as much title defenses as DJ or as GSP, I think title defenses don't mean much. Of course, they mean a lot, but they don't mean much if you are defending lightweight champion who has the most defenses in lightweight history, moves up to welterweight, gets the belt. Let's just say he defends it against someone else before he fights Ilia, beats Ilia. That's 2 defenses under the welterweight belt, and is pound for pound #1. It does. Come on. In modern time too, like I'm just saying, just because it's not that as much title defenses as George St. Pierre has or as Demetrius Johnson has, the level of opponent, like when let me put this in perspective for you. When did GSP or Demetrius Johnson ever fought a 2-weight world champion who is #1 pound for pound in the world, is in his prime, and is the defending world champion? When does that ever happen? Right, for Islam's case. And if Ilia wins, Ilia's gonna fight the winner of Patty versus Justin. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, there's no way the winner of Patty versus Justin is gonna win against Ilia. Not to sound like a hater, but Ilia's just that dog, right? So if Ilia beats the winner of that, and then he beats Armin, right? And then he moves up and beats Islam, gets the 3rd belt. 1, he'd be the first ever UFC fighter to have 3 consecutive belts, which is insane. And 2, he would have defended his belt twice at lightweight, once at featherweight, and then have the 3rd belt, and then be the #1 pound for pound fighter of all time. You have to call him the greatest of all time. You cannot not call him the greatest of all time, and he remains undefeated. Come on, let's be for real here. But yeah, so that's a fight. That's a fight every single MMA fan, UFC fan wants to see, and we've been dying to see it. And for some odd reason, that bald-headed individual Dana White won't make it happen. But we got to see it, and I'm sick and tired of waiting, and I just want to see it. So yeah, that's a fight we have to see, and that's a fight I hope gets made in 2026. Another matchup I want to see happen in 2026 is Joshua Van versus Taito Taira. I know. All right. So last weekend, Joshua Van and Pantoja fought, and Pantoja lost because he broke his arm. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. It was a freak accident, and Pantoja, aside from Marab, if there's anyone out there right now who deserves a rematch at the title immediately, Pantoja. It has to be Pantoja. The guy cleared out his division. He has multiple consecutive title defenses. He's a beast. He's absolutely destroyed his last couple of opponents, and he was on a tear before his injury, and everyone and their mom thought he was going to destroy Joshua Van. Now, obviously, the accident happened, and Joshua Van became the champion. And by the way, to all the people who are hating on Joshua Van for celebrating being a champion, and everyone in the comments are on Instagram or on Twitter are calling him a paper champion, a fake champion. F you guys, and you guys are all bandwagon. You guys all. Y'all some fake fans for real, bro. How are you guys going to sit here and glaze Joshua Van after the Royval fight, but then the second he gains the title because Alex Pantoja broke his arm, which, by the way, wasn't Van's fault he broke his arm. Technically, it was, but, like, what I mean is, like, his goal going into the fight wasn't to break Pantoja's arm. It was to beat Pantoja. And he just happened to be a champion. Like, it was out of his control. So I don't understand the Joshua Van hate. Since the Pantoja injury is really bad, and it looks like he's going to need maybe, like, If I had to guess, and if it's an actual broken arm, he's gonna need at least a year. And I don't think Dana White is gonna wait a whole year before, you know, the Joshua Van fights another person, especially since he took no injuries. Him and Tatsuro Taira took no injuries during their fight. I say book that matchup immediately for February or March of next year, and we get to see Josh Finn defend his title against Tatsuro Taira, and then the winner of that, if Alex Pantoja comes back or is coming back soon after that, they fight Alex Pantoja for the title. Give the man his chance, give the man his flowers, and a chance to fight for the title again. And for the final matchup I want to see happen in 2026, this one, you know, I think, listen, it's probably never going to happen. And maybe it's a pipe dream of mine. But I really, 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 really want this to happen. I pray for this to happen, man. Tom Aspinall versus John Jones. Now, hear me out. I know, listen, I know that John Jones ducked Tom Aspinall. Yeah, I know that even after being offered $30 million, he still refused to fight Tom Aspinall. But hear me out. John Jones right now has been going on kind of this, like, what's the word I'm looking for? He's been going on this, like, complaining spree, I guess you can say. He's been tweeting out a bunch of tweets talking about how, you know, he's asking Dana White for his forgiveness. He wants to fight on the white card. He'll do everything and anything he has to do in order to fight on that white card. White card, that's funny. The White House card, I mean. You can tell brother is desperate to fight on that card. And I'm starting to think that if he's this desperate to fight on that card, if I were Dana White, I'll give him an ultimatum. Hear me out. You want to fight on the White House card? I got you. But under one condition, you got to fight Tom Aspinall. Boom. I guarantee you for a fact, he'll do it. Which is weird because you'd think $30 million would be more of an incentive to fight Tom Aspinall, but apparently not. Especially with how much crap he was talking about Tom Aspinall after the Cyril Gane poke. I think that's a perfect matchup to make. And I know that Tom Aspinall has to go through Cyril Gane first. But if Tom Aspinall beats Cyril Gane in the rematch, and if John Jones really that desperate to fight on the White House card, let's make it happen. Dana White, if you're watching this, Dana White, if you're watching this, forget what I said about you earlier about being bald, even though you are. Hear me out. Take my advice. Give your lover and John Jones an ultimatum. Make him fight at the. If he really wants to fight at the White Card House, I cannot speak to save my life. If he really wants to fight at the White House card, you fight Tom Aspinall. You got no other options. If you ask for pay, be like, all right, you're not fighting on the White House card. You want 30 M's, you're not fighting. You're gonna get 200 grand like a good boy, and you're fighting Tom Aspinall. What more can I say? Hey. This is more of a win for you than anything else, Dana White. So lock in, do what I'm telling you to, and you'll be locked in. And so yeah, that's all I got for you guys in this video. I know I haven't posted a while, and I didn't even want to bring it up in this video. It's been a couple months now since my last post. I apologize to my 20+ viewers who watched my videos. That's on me. I had a lot of BS come up in the past few months, and you know, started college. Technically, I finished my first semester. I started and finished my first semester of college before I even uploaded. Yeah, that's not good. But listen, I promise I'll start uploading more often. You guys got my word. And I want to get back into the grind. So I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.